I I know some of you might be wondering where this is coming from because naturally I hadn't even announced my pregnancy yet. I came to know of my pregnancy just a couple of weeks ago on my wedding anniversary, in fact. And clearly, a lot has gone down over the last few weeks, 3 weeks. I've been in bed rest mode. I've tried to move around a little around the house today for the first time, but I'm in a lot of pain. Actually, yesterday was better. Today, I'm in a lot of pain on my back, my hips, my waist, my legs. I've asked for someone to come in and give me a proper massage, like one khala, like a massage lady, massage auntie that all of us in the social circle and family call in for when we need their services. She's gonna come in at about 4 p.m. You know why my health wasn't doing very well. I'll get into details in a bit. I just don't know what to kick off with, how much to immediately dive into, how much energy I have. You're going to be with me through the next few days, and I'm going to try and share my journey as honestly as possible. Hi, it's much later in the day. I had my first post miscarriage massage today, and it led me to sleep for a couple of hours in the evening. And I have to admit, this was my most peaceful sleep I've had since the miscarriage happened on Sunday. I mentioned to a couple of friends and to Jerry, of course, that when you're trying to sleep and your mind is still thinking about things for a little bit till you actually start to go into your like sleepy state. I keep getting this vision of me seeing what I had passed while I was in the loo, my what I think was my embryo, what I thought was my fetus. It was very evident to me that I had miscarried at that time. I haven't really gotten into details here, I know, so I should give you a little bit of a timeline as to what has happened. I found out I was pregnant on our anniversary on 26th of Jan, and the line was very faint, but it was there. I took my first blood test to just be sure, because you take your beta HCG test to be sure about your pregnancy on the next day, which was 27th of Jan. And I sent it to my gynecologist, and she said it looked like a weak pregnancy. I was pregnant, but the HCG levels were very, very low. That was also the same day that I did tell my parents and our families that we were pregnant. And she asked me to come back in, take another HCG, and that kind of stuff. Took another HCG. My levels were still very, very low. I was put on progesterone tablets, supplements, and of course, I was having my folic acid and things like that. I've been having folic acid for a couple of months. This was a planned pregnancy. I know that's a question that I'm going to get. And my doctor, after my second report came in on 30th of Jan, she said that the levels are still not quite where we need them, nowhere close to be honest, because she said I should have been in the 1,000 range and that I was sitting in the 200 range, which obviously was not a good thing at all. Hi. Hi. Coming. Mm. And then she said, wait for another week and get another HCG test done, which was our third HCG test by that point, and also get the scan done, because the scan, the sonography, would give us a good idea. Come join me. The sonography would give us a good idea of exactly where the pregnancy was, because according to us, when I found out on 26th, that should have actually been the day I got my period, and I didn't get my period. So we found out very early because I tested immediately, because like I said, it was a planned pregnancy. And then cut to like about a week and a half later, my HCG level was still much lower than it needed to be in the third test. And then we went for the sonography the next day. And in the sonography, things started looking up, is what we thought, because we were told by the pathologist, the pathology doctor. Is it pathologist or pathology doctor? Please forgive my potentially incorrect phrasing. That I wasn't in my 6th week, because obviously 2 weeks had passed in the interim of first HCG, second HCG, third HCG after a week and all of that. I was only in my 4th week, which did not make sense to Jerry and I, because we had tracked our dates, ovulation, we knew when we had tried, and then there was this little gray area that maybe I had ovulated late and had somehow, because the human body is a machine, miracle machine, somehow I had conceived late. So there was that gray area, and my gynecologist said yes, that is a possibility as well, which is what she and the pathologist had individually told us. And so she, apart from putting me on progesterone supplements, which I was already having, asked me to come in twice a week for progesterone injections. Now, mind you, today we're sitting on, what are we on? Thursday, 16th Feb. Friday is when I went for the sonography in the evening. Saturday is when I went to the doctor. Saturday is when she gave me my first HCG injection. And she said Saturdays and Tuesdays come in for your injection. So I would have gone in for my second injection on Tuesday. Saturday night itself, however, I started to spot. And we didn't really panic when I started to spot a little bit, because we had heard and read about how my scan, my sonography, because again, it was in 6th week, it was 4th week, and all of that. It was a transvaginal scan. It was an internal one. So they take a probe and they put it inside the vagina. I was about to say inside the birth canal, which is technically the birth canal. They put it inside. I've clearly been watching and reading a lot over the last few months. They take the probe and they put a condom on it and they put it inside the vagina, and that's how you get your scan. And so I've read about how a little bit of spotting is common after that. Saturday night when the spotting happened, we didn't really panic. We were like, okay, we're just going to flag this off to the gynac, and I left her a text message. And then I went to sleep. But I woke up in excruciating pain on Sunday morning at about 6 o'clock, which is when I realized that I had possibly miscarried, and I saw what I saw while I was in the loo. And Jerry rushed me to the doctor, the hospital, the doctor, the gynec's nursing home, hospital, whatever you want to call it. It's really close to where we live. So we literally walked it. It's like a lane away from where we live. And checked me, and she said that this is what they call nature's threatened abortion. It's trying to exit, but my uterus was still closed. This is going to be I mean, there's a lot of TMI in here, but if you're watching a video like this, I guess that's a little bit expected. So there was a 50-50 chance that I had either miscarried or not. And because it was a Sunday, everything was closed and I couldn't get my sonography the same day. So she offered that either I get hospitalized and stay on absolute bed rest at the hospital, or I come home and stay on absolute bed rest for the next week, 10 days, if I was still pregnant, which obviously we didn't know. So I had to go in assuming that I needed to be on bed rest for 10 days because we were being optimistic that I was still pregnant. And I was in complete bed rest on Sunday. Monday morning, Jerry and I got up, went to the pathology lab where I've been going since I was a kid. And the doctor confirmed that the sac that we had seen on Friday, now on Monday, had flattened. And that my bean wasn't there anymore, basically. So I was sure that what I had seen the previous day was in fact the miscarriage in itself. And then when we took that report and went to the gynecologist immediately, she said I need to go in for a procedure called a DNC, which is called dilation and Carafate. I'm really sorry. I'm really blanking on what it is, but it's essentially a DNC where they dilate your uterus and just clean it up because it's potentially harmful for any leftover crumbs of the fetus or the sac to be left inside your uterus. So Friday scan, Saturday showing report, getting my injections, Saturday night spotting, Sunday miscarrying, Monday going to the doctor, and Tuesday, which should have been my next HCG injection day, was then my DNC day, where they called me in, and we went in at about 7 a.m. and we left the hospital by 1 p.m. I was under general anesthesia. I remember everything that happened before, and then I remember things that happened much after. I have about a 2.5 hour gap in because I was under anesthesia. The procedure itself was about 20 minutes, doctor had said, but of course, prepping, taking care, observing. I'm really grateful to all the medical health, professionals that I had because they took such good care of me. My amazing, amazing husband has gone over and above in taking care of me like a baby. I've been on bed rest for today's the 5th day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I will continue to be on bed rest till at least Monday. I do have a follow-up appointment towards the end of the month, and I am on medication. I have a small list of do's and don'ts, pretty much. I went through the process of feeling, wondering if I could do something differently, thinking if I did something wrong or if I could have done anything to prevent it. I went through the thing in my head, maybe if I hadn't gone to the loo that morning in pain, I wouldn't have passed it. But I have a lot of really loving people around me. I have a lot of people who talk logic around me, and I'm really grateful for that because I'm usually a very logical person, but listening to a lot of that logic helped bring me back to me, because like both my doctors said individually, and my aunt, who I'm so grateful to have in my life, she has, she's a biologist herself. Nature has a way of knowing what isn't going to work in the long run, and so it ejects those things earlier on. And I have heard of these cases, and I know of people who've been through longer pregnancies that they've had to terminate because of complications. So for me, the silver lining is that I knew for about, what was it, 3 weeks? I knew for 2-3 weeks, 26th too.
No.
No, I know. I'm just.
No.
And I think the main reason. Sit with me.
Okay.
No, sit with me.
No, I'm here.
I think the main reason I'm sharing all of these things with you is because literally since from Tuesday to today, it's been 3 days, right? I've come to know of at least 15 people in my personal social circle, people who I know, who had miscarriages that I knew nothing of. For whatever reason, people didn't share these things openly with me before. And now I'm hearing stories of like, I'm a very open person by nature, and I think clearly in this case, in some cases that works against me, but in this case, I think it's worked for me because one of my close friends, and I hadn't even told my close friends I was pregnant yet because all of these HCG level complications, there were very few people who knew. And it had only been 2 weeks of us knowing. But then I did tell my friends that I was gonna meet a few of them this week and tell them. I know you don't tell like people for like the first trimester, but these were all really close friends, are all really close friends, and I spoke to them, and you know I've had friends come home and visit me every single day for the last 3 days, including today. I'm not gonna vlog those bits obviously, but I'm very grateful for all the support I've gotten from like everywhere, and it's almost like there's this secret club of women that have gone through miscarriages that share their journeys with you when you say you've had one. And I'm not saying everyone should come out and say, oh my god, I had a miscarriage. Did you know? No, I know I'm a little bit vocal about everything. And I'm, because it maybe I live my life on the internet, I'm a little bit used to sharing these TMI uh, points of my life. But there seems to be this stigma, or there seems to be this 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 almost feeling of being ashamed, or almost feeling of being like, I don't know if I'm describing it correctly, just this feeling of
Fear of what society will think?
no, I mean, it's, I don't know if it's fear of what society will think. I mean, it's just something like seems they don't, it's not something that's talked about for different reasons. I maybe it's also the feeling, to be fair, of not wanting to relive it. You know what I mean? But I feel like if we talk about these things, other people who go through it won't feel as alone, because it's going to make me sound really weird and really selfish to say this, but when I heard of some of these stories, it almost gave me comfort. Like, oh, it's not just me. All of us, like so many of us, have been through this. I heard of somebody who had to go through an abortion in their 4th month because the fetus wasn't healthy enough. I heard of somebody who miscarried in their 11th week and now she has a 2-month-old baby. I heard of somebody else who had a couple of miscarriages and now has a twin, another baby. Like, I just feel like hearing those stories gave me comfort, it gave me hope, if I'm being honest. So I knew I needed to share this with you because I hope you don't go through this. I hope nobody goes through this. But if you do, or if someone you know does, it's not their fault. It's not their fault.
And they're not alone.
And they're not alone. And they're not alone. I didn't even know what a DNC was. I had to Google it. I had to ask my doctor, like, you gonna give me just anesthesia down under, or you gonna give me, like, I knew nothing. But when I heard from so many different people about so many different kinds of experiences, it just, I'm just sharing this because I don't want you to feel alone. And I don't want you to feel like it's your fault. Because I know it's not mine. I did everything I could. And I vlogged everything. From being a mistake to to telling our families to the while on the personal level this was something that I wanted as a creator. It became like, oh my god, I can make content out of this and look back and document this to look back at for memories. And I don't know if I'm gonna end up sharing any of that, but I'm not gonna delete it. I'm gonna hold on to everything because it's part of my story and it's part of my journey. Yeah. Now you know why I haven't been very well, on and off for a while. Now you know why I haven't been vlogging as much, because I was so scared I was gonna let something slip, or I was gonna just not have anything to share with you, because I was also a little bit, I was working on both things, like verified and content, and trying to keep healthy, and completely switched the way I was eating. In any case, I get so many, oh my god, are you pregnant comments because I have Bonji. I didn't want to keep this secret from you. I want you to know. I want you to know that I really truly think of you guys as an internet family, and you should know what's happening in my life. Ah, my hair is a mess. It feels like shit. And I don't have the energy to stand in the shower and wash my hair because my back is in so much pain. My hips, my legs, my thighs, my knees, I feel like things hurt down to my bones. But I'm gonna get through this. So, yeah, there you have it. You know everything now. All I want is for you guys to send each other good juju, send me good juju, accept mine to you, and know that I will bounce back. I was writing my thoughts down yesterday because I do journal, you know that already. And I wrote something that made me cry. I mean, I wrote a lot that made me cry, but the last line gave me hope and made me cry. Where I said that, I wrote that I may be heartbroken, but I still have hope. Words for my tombstone.